that was devastating for me because I felt like I never had the opportunity to say goodbye.
What were some of the ways that you, now I know I heard you say emptiness.
Yes.
I'm thinking that there may have been something else there after you started unraveling the truth. Now, you probably weren't 5 unraveling the truth, but as you look back, what were some of the things that came up?
Well, looking back at him in life as I got older, I remember my grandfather he was about 6'5", and I've never seen my grandfather wear anything less than a suit. He always had on a suit, tie, and a hat. He was always dressed very nice. And a businessman. I don't know specifically what his position was, but he was very charismatic. He was such a gentle person. Every time I saw him interact with people, he had such a deep, clear voice that I could just see and feel people drawing to him. And just being in his presence, I always felt protected and safe. Being around him just made me feel important. It wasn't that I was seeking importance, it's just that he made me feel that way. And as I got older and asked more questions, I was basically told, okay, enough, stop seeking. He's deceased, let him be. And I didn't understand why. Why would you tell me to stop asking questions about someone I love and who loved me? What is the secret behind it? And well, I found out many years later, uh, the pain of the family of me talking about him was I was told, well, when he divorced my grandmother, an emptiness for everybody. That's all I was told about that. They wouldn't go into more details, but they really loved him and didn't understand why. Well, knowing my maternal grandmother, I do understand why. She was a very bitter person.
Mm-hmm.
In her own right, she had different things going on from birth. She lost her mother at birth, and it's just been a spiral of chaos around her. But I mean, pictures that I once had of him were taken away, and it was like my family told me to just completely erase that, and I can't, because he was he was life and love for me. He was that gentle giant, is what we used to call him, because he was so tall. But his heart was truly shared openly, willingly. He was such a giving person. And I'm not talking material. He was so giving with his stories of life's history. He told me about his parents. He was so open to life that to be from me so early, I feel like there was so much more that I was wanting to get, that I just wanted to know. And there's still more, but no one will share at this time.
And then when is his birthday, Lisa?
When is his birthday?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I honestly
Okay,
don't.
that's going to be important for you to know.
Okay.
So you want to get his birthday.
Okay.
Well,
And
Shemsu, you know that you read me with that.
you know,
That's exactly what came to me with that, because he's
yeah,
initiating energy for her.
it really is. And we've actually found doing this work that a lot of people who are on the other side literally send their people to us. You know, we've met a lot of coaches, you know, even on Facebook, that have found us because they had to reconnect with a person that they are on the other side. And your grandfather is probably wanting to be in communication with you. See, we're taught that death is a final passage, and it's not. It's just another dimension. And if you stay in grief, you cannot hear him, or you will be scared to hear him. But immediately when you said you felt protected, I bet you can look and see that he has been protecting you your entire life. Your entire life, he has been your protection. He has not stopped protecting you, and never will he.
Yes.
So one of the things, you know, and we'll work with you on this, but you need to put an altar to him. If you haven't did that, you need to find a picture. You need to put water out for him. I don't know if he drank a beverage, but whatever his favorite beverage is, you need to freshen that up every now and then and put that there to him, and then sit with him in that space from time to time. And just be with him.
Shemsu-t, may I share something?
Please. Yes.
One of the things that have recently came to me, so I know that this is the ancestor energy speaking. This is my father's beverage of choice that my mother used to buy him on his birthdays. I never knew that. But recently I was walking home. Something told me, go to the liquor store. My higher self told me, let me not say something. And I was guided to go to the liquor store to purchase several different items. I don't drink any of these. And I was guided which ones to purchase. Get the ones that are in glass. Get the one. It was the higher self was just really intoning all of this to my soul and spirit. And Virginia Slim cigarettes. I got cigars. And as you can see, where am I pulling them from? This is my workspace where I'm sitting right now. And so I got my father's cigarettes and some other family members' cigarettes. And when I set them here in my window area, and I sat down, all of the energy started to come in a balanced, tranquil way. I've been receiving this energy from the time that I was a little girl. It would always look aberrant because I didn't know what it was or didn't know how to hold that energy. And part of what was even revealed to me yesterday, which I think you will enjoy, is this book. And part of this is a system that's passed down from grandparents to grandparents. I mean, grandparents to grandchildren. And I was telling Shemsu-t that while I was meditating yesterday, my grandfather visited me in the meditative space. And so the grandparents have special energy that they provide for grandchildren. And it just is what it is. And so you can see how powerful the energy of being able to release the grief and the old stories, because our soul and spirit is so benevolent to us. We're not going to scare ourselves, and we're not going to create, you know, some kind of havoc. So if we get to the point where we can hold that energy and stay in a oneness, tranquil vibration, then we'll be able to download. They, on the other side, have so much more freedom of movement. A lot of times in this world, they may have been bound by whatever they were bound by. A lot of times it was just their black skin, but whatever else. And so interdimensionally, they are so much more powerful. And like Shemsu-t said, death is actually a transition into another state of being. And so now that we are owning our interdimensionality, they're like, great, we've been waiting. So sit down, because let me tell you, you know, and so that's how that goes.
Yeah. And
thank you.
Very cool. Okay. So you can see that if you were my client, you would have had a shift right there. You know, so we're always listening for how do we support them shifting through this. So you just said it was your grandfather when we're going through the actual grid. And what happened was he died, and your family really would not allow you to participate inside of his death. So if you look and see The next column is, what did you learn about yourself? So what did you learn about yourself? And this is you looking back now.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn? In the releasing of your grandfather, what did you learn about yourself?
Well, I learned that I have a lot of him in me. I have a lot of traits within myself.
Name some of them.
Oh, okay. I have a business mindset that he had. I do love the fashion, the designs. He was a very snazzy dresser to me. He loved Stacey Adams. There was another designer whose name I forget, but he was to me. And I picked that up from him because there is a distinguished way that I enjoy to look.
Mm-hmm.
His character, I've been told, people draw to me very easily. I'm not sure, but the gentleness I definitely have gathered from him. I have become in trying to that mother, that aunt mother, that cousin mother. Everyone sees me as a mother figure, even though I'm not in that position of their life per se. It recently, since my sister passed, it has recently come to my attention that her children asked me to participate more in their lives, which they felt they couldn't do prior to her death, which my grandfather was a very creative thinker, truly came through because of the way I enjoy creating things, the way that I enjoy seeing what's already made and creatively in my own thoughts, being able to restructure the situation or the item. Of life, truly, the love of life he has given to me, because I've never seen this person upset ever in my life. In those 5 years that I can go back, he was always happy. He was always smiling. He was always joyful. He was present. He was truly present with you. He wasn't thinking about what he had to do later, who was there. If you were sitting with him, talking with him, you were his attention. And made me feel very special, very loved by him. Oh gosh, there's he had a great sense of humor. He loved to tell jokes. They were corny, but just to see you laugh, just to see you smile, to uplift your mood, just to be unhappy regardless. I mean, you could be disciplined. He wouldn't change the discipline. He wouldn't step in that manner, but he let you know there's more to it. Keep going. Come on, it's okay. Learn the lesson and keep going. So he wouldn't let me sit in my sorrows.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, what's your, you just did the work. What's your card? What's your birth card?
I'm a King of Hearts.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Shemsu-t, she's also in a 3 of Spades year.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. I mean, it's so many things that are just right there. One of the things that, you can see is that he probably gave a lot of his time and life to you on purpose.
Okay.
on purpose, and then he was done. He had to get out of the way because two kings cannot be in the same space at the same time. But he filled your heart, you see? And he's not gone. He's just moved on to, again, another dimension so that you can remember who you are. The part of the work is remembering who we are. You have to remember who you are, remember what your mission is. He fulfilled on his mission.
Yes, ma'am. Death is by agreement only.
Death is by, we don't leave here unless we have agreed to it prior to getting here. I mean, everybody, and this, just that in our society right now, there's a lot of what they're calling violence, but those are agreements too. And the difference is the media is using it to have us fearful. So we're creating more of it than necessary. But the young people are trying to have us get it. That's why they're coming in and going out and coming in and going out, because they're like, look, y'all, this is easy. Stop being traumatized by this. This is not the revolution, and the revolution is not going to be televised.
It really is not. It really is not. And that's just not something slick to say. It really is not. There's no way to televise it. If they could, they would, but it's not, because the revolution occurs inside of my being. When I revolve around myself, I circumambulate around my spirit. That's a revolution.
Yes.
I want to say something really quick.
Go ahead.
It's me. I know, like, with my granddad, when I got older and like doing his work and stuff now, and I went back and looked at his card, I was like, oh yeah, he could still be here with me, because we're the same card, we have the same birth card. So that attraction was so intense. I'm like, yeah, I would have never gotten married. I would not have a family, because he literally was everything to me. And I know even now, like, it's funny you said Stacey Adams, and then each of got the liquor and the cigarettes, because I'm like, we all had the same granddad. Like,
we all did.
That was my Stacey Adams with everything. I don't care, blue jeans, jogging pants. He had on Stacey. He's my granddad. Really, he was Stacey Adams with. And that was like his shoe of choice. He did not play, and he drank and he smoked. But we the same birth card, so we have like just a beautiful. We had a beautiful relationship. We had a very strong attraction, connection to one another. I was like, yeah, nobody can hardly live up to him in death, let alone if he was still alive. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have a husband. I wouldn't. So when I went back and looked at what he gave me for the 16 years that he was in my life, I was like, man, wow, he really showed me what a man is, what they do. He showed me pure love, but I couldn't, he couldn't still be here with me now, even though sometimes I wish he was, like, see my kids and stuff like that. But I'm like, I know he see them, but we couldn't share the same physical space. My life would not be what it is right now.
That is so beautiful.
That is so beautiful. I love this. So now the last column says, who do you want to acknowledge? And what is it you would say to them?
I would acknowledge him and tell him thank you. And just express how much I love him. And I'm going to find out his birth card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. And so the part of the work is for you to write a note to him and put that on your altar. Create a space for him in your life. And I want you to know that you opened up something for me. All three of you did, because my grandfather was really a good grandfather to me most of the time. And then when I was 25, I actually found out that my mom was an incest victim, and I literally started despising him. And it's so interesting when you were talking. I remember when I broke my hip, thigh, and knee, for the 3 months I was there, my grandfather was at that hospital every morning. Like that was the coffee shop or something. They literally, he didn't have to wait till 8 o'clock. He was there like he was the doctor. They got, hey, Mr. Montgomery. And he had on his suit, his dress shoes, and his hat. He was a painter, but he came there first thing in the morning. So you brought present for me something that I need to acknowledge as well. And that's the power of the stories. But in order to tell such a magnificent story, you have to make sure the hurt is healed. Mm-hmm. And then I also want you to know that you may not be present to it yet, but there's some anger you need to address inside of this. Mm-hmm. And when you're addressing anger, you just, what's right beneath anger is hurt. You want to deal with the hurt. Who hurt you? How were you hurt? And release those people. If they're still in life, go and talk to them about it and just forgive them. They don't have to do anything. Just be generous with them, because that's, you know, I can hear that generosity is also part of your being that you got from your grandfather, you know. Yeah. So, you know, just be generous with people, and you will have a whole wealth. I mean, because literally when we have this opening with our grandparents and spouses and siblings on the other side, they just rush in, and whatever they can do for us, they just can't wait. You know, they just can't wait. Like, you know, they're, you know, so.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah. So very cool. So how do you feel now?
I feel good, but you are right. There is pain, because my grandmother was the initiator, his ex-wife, and told me out of all of my siblings, I couldn't go. And
is she still alive?
No. Mm-hmm. And my very last words to her were on her deathbed, gave her, because she was very mean throughout our relationship. She made.
Do you know her birthday?
May 3rd, 19.
The year is not quite as appointed, but go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I think it was 32.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, here's, you know, I'm going to just get a little bit deep here, just a little bit, because it's right there to say.
Yeah.
But when we travel in the soul group, we literally keep going from one lifetime to another, being different, taking different roles with each other. Mm-hmm. You know, and sometimes, you know, our grandparents could have been our husband in another life. You see, our husband could have been our brother in another life. Our sister could have been our enemy in another life. Mm-hmm. Our grandmother could have been an enemy. You see that? Yes. And we come here to work through those things using those roles. You see?
That's very powerful what you share, Shemsu-t. Her grandmother is a 9 of clubs. So the one thing that we know about 9s is that 9s come here specifically on a spiritual mission. We all do spiritual work while we're here in Earth School. 9s have agreed, I'm going specifically to do spiritual work. My mother is a 9 of diamonds. And she is a bodhisattva energy, meaning that she had an opportunity to go and just be done with reincarnating. She came back into manifest reality so that more people will have access to this technology. This technology that we're speaking of is being connected to our ancestors in a way that moves evolution forward. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the work that you all are doing together. That's why the grandparents are in the space right now. My grandfather came to visit me yesterday. We touched on something that Kiana talked about her grandfather. My grandfather wore Stacey Adams, was 6'4" and some. And then Shemsu-t now got present to something about her grandfather. This is a part of, like Shemsu-t says, we play all of these different roles simply so that we can connect all the chords together to put together, you know, this work that we're doing.
Yeah. So you will be able to get so many downloads. Girl, each would be like, oh, move that. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. You know.
Here we go.
Okay, we got to start doing videos because we can't keep up with this stuff just talking to me. Right? So, you know, that's going to be one of the gifts. You know, the downloads, they have access. You know, we talk about the super consciousness. So that super consciousness, you know, now has a way of getting to us because it's not blocked off so much with our grief and our anger and our distress. You see that? It's opened up some things. Very cool.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you all.
And you'll get to, in the work, you'll get to continue to work through some of the other ones, you know, but now you can see it'll give you a little more freedom and you'll be able to go through it a lot quicker.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Lisa Wallace, what about you? Do you want to share with us today?
I will share. Okay, I'm back. I will share mine. For me, as you guys about the grandfather, it's not my grandfather went to jail when I was at an early age. So
do you remember how old you were?
I was 14.
But so is there an earlier time that you remember having your heart broken before 14? Is there anything that happened when you were 5, 6, 7? Anything? Did you move?
I don't remember a lot of heartbreak or anything. Only traumatic thing that I could ever recall was cutting my finger. That was it. I don't know.
And what happened when you cut your finger? Were you punished for that?
I was.
Okay, so talk about that.
So I was 3 and I cut my middle finger. I was my brother had went to cut an orange and he's older than me. So I was like, could you just please cut me one? And he's like, no. So we got into an argument. I'm only 3. So I'm doing the little, as they say, black girl thing. I was rolling my eyes in my head. And I said, well, I'll cut it myself. And I went and took the orange and set it on my middle finger, not paying attention because I didn't know how to use a knife, and I just went straight down on it. And I cut the ligaments. It was, my mom said I came running in there and it was just hanging by the skin. And for some reason, I got a whooping for that. I'm not sure why, but I got a whooping.
So let's work with this for a minute because it did make a mark. You see, and I want you're gonna get it, right? Can you and Kiana know that this made a mark for her?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking for my book now. I'm going in the back.
Okay, thank you. So you cut your finger and it scared the heck out of you. And it hurt, right? And who did you run to? You ran to your mother?
Yes.
Did she take you to the hospital?
She did after I got a whooping.
So wait a minute. So who whooped you?
My mom whooped me.
Your mom with you. Where was your brother at this time?
Sitting in the living room laughing.
How much older than you is your brother?
My brother is 3 years older than me.
Okay, so he's 6, you're 3, he's laughing at you. Your finger is bleeding or they wrap something around it?
She wrapped something around it.
Okay, and then you get a whooping.
Mm-hmm.
So you got pain on top of pain.
Yes.
On top of pain because you're being humiliated.
That's true. I can tell you what I felt.
Tell me.
I felt, first I felt abandoned because my brother wouldn't help me. And then it was like, my mom was just like, we're taking you to the doctor and let them deal with it. After I got a whooping and him and my sister laughed at me.
Did you have stitches?
I did. I can't bend the finger at all.
Do you remember how many stitches you had?
I had 6.
6 stitches. You hear these 6s, each? Okay. So in that particular situation, after it was all said and done, the end of the day, looking back, who were you mad at?
Look, I'm gonna say my mom, because it was like my brother was 6. I just felt like he was just being me, but I just felt like my mom wasn't there for me, because when I asked, she was not too far. She could have actually cut it, and then to be embarrassed because of her. I blame my mom for a lot of things.
What's your relationship with your mom?
Now me and my mom have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm. But growing up,
I would say it was distant, because all we did, my life was church. My mom is a pastor, so my life was church. Every day I played basketball, but my life was mainly just going to church every day of the week.
Okay. So now I want to stay with this finger, right? So
Which hand, please?
which hand was
The
it?
left.
Okay. So you cut your finger, you get disciplined for, I'm saying you got disciplined for using a knife, right? Right. I'm thinking that's why you would get disciplined, right?
Yes.
Okay, for using a knife. And what would you say you learned about yourself in that moment?
Looking at it now,
Yeah.
if I look at it now, that I've learned to block out pain and to just work through it.
Say more about that.
So every time I ever feel pain, I just find something else to do.
Okay, so is that a powerful position?
It can be both. I feel like it is, because I don't let the little things bother me as much now. When I have pain, I just say it's a part of the experience and I keep going with my day.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's the language. Maybe instead of saying you block it, maybe the language is you can transcend pain.
Mm.
Can you hear the difference?
Yeah, because blocking it, I just put it out my mind.
Well, blocking it means to avoid.
Yeah.
So do you avoid pain?
I do, by all means necessary.
Okay, so let's look at that, right? To avoid pain means to kill joy. Why would I say that?
I'm going to ask you that.
Well, anytime I'm avoiding any of my feelings, that means I have to shut them all down. Because feelings just flow. They just flow to whatever there is. So if you're trying not to feel pain, that means it doesn't know how to feel joy either. So part of the expression of the work back then was that, you felt the pain, but maybe you have pain attached to punishment.
I can see that.
Do you see that? And you probably have it showing up in many, many other areas of your life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And, so that's one thing, right? What else did you learn about yourself? So you've learned to transcend pain. What else did you learn about yourself?
To depend is where I depend on myself for everything. I don't depend on others.
Okay, so you learn that you can be reliable with yourself, right? You're pretty self-sufficient. Yeah. I think most of us in Master Force have that leadership quality. That's an admirable quality. right? Being self-reliant. What else?
I've become, because of that experience, I don't know, through my life, I look at things different. I'm the one that now helps everybody, like in every way.
And that, my dear, is the issue, right? Because one of our third principles is no rescuing. You probably don't let anybody feel any pain.
I know that to be true because of the experience I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
I that to be true.
Yeah, because you made pain as a punishment, right? When actually pain is one of the best teachers on the planet. One of the best teachers. But if you avoid it, you're not allowing yourself to grow emotionally. You really don't even know how much you can really stand. And all the people you're rescuing will continue to need to be rescued. They're not learning anything. So one of the reasons you had to learn how to transcend pain at 5, which you have refused to do, right? You see that, right?
That was at 3.
At 3. Oh,
yeah.
That's
wait, what's your card?
What's your card?
Yeah, what's your card?
I am the king of clubs.
Oh shit!
Right.
You king of what, baby?
You gonna learn today.
King of club, eat you.
In the clubs. Hey,
listen, kings. Do y'all get this? This is so beautiful. Oh, I love this work.
Right here.
Woo! Do y'all see yourselves? Oh my God! Listen. This is so beautiful. Oh, Icha, do you see how beautiful? This is really so.
Girl.
I'm overcome.
All day and twice on Sunday. Amen.
So, Lisa, you're a king at 3. You're a king of club, all knowing, all knowledge.
Let's see what that little king of club baby needed.
What did that baby need? And I promise you probably got it, but you've been denying it this whole time because in society we're taught that if our parents didn't do what they were supposed to do, something's wrong. Really, it's not. You're a king. They can't teach you nothing.
That's the thing, yeah. If they're coming into your space and they're anything less than the king, they ain't got nothing for you. They got to get out the way.
They got to get out the way.
These children live in their own magical realms. They can sometimes appear to be cut off from the rest of the world, especially boys. Parents need to create stability for these children and acknowledge their brilliant creative minds, supporting them to excel in their own way. They don't take to doing things in traditional ways. Let them be who they are. That's what that little baby girl needed. That's that 3-year-old. She needed that. And if the parents can't give that, the best thing they could do is get out the way.
Yeah. So, so the cutting of the finger. Icha, tell us what that was.
Girl, look here. She cut that middle finger. That middle finger is her sexuality. And so this is the thing. At a very young age, her being the king, you know that's bringing that feminine energy. So let's look. Left hand side.
Woo.
That's the feminine energy. That's the energy of the mother. Then we're looking at that middle finger. That's anger and sexuality. Just from what you share with us, knowing that your mom is a pastor, there are certain things inside of the traditional religious paradigm, no matter what religion it is, that say sexuality is not all right. Mm-hmm. So with that feminine energy, you are the divine feminine and you're a king at that. So looking at all of that energy, the only thing, she did the best that she could do.
Yeah.
in every way.
Yeah.
Because there were so many things that were contrary to who she knows herself to be in the world. It's a wonder that, let me say it this way so that I can bring it into a space of oneness and balance. What your mother had to give you is life. And she gave you that, and that richly and abundantly. And then for whatever else that she wasn't available to, she shared with you what she had. She brought the discipline into the space in the form of that violence, so that you could see later on, now that you're talking with us, that these are transformative for you in this way. You get an opportunity to see this totally different and do this work of your soul retrieval, so you bring yourself back to yourself and bring yourself to yourself in power. Because that story no longer will be disempowering for you. You cut your finger, you initiated yourself into your work.
Can you hear that, Lisa?
I can.
Yeah, and as you grow to know, and just for the record, my planetary ruling card is a king of clubs. And literally, I was left alone, and for years made up that I was neglected, abandoned, not cared for, da 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 da. And now it's like, I love being alone. Please don't bother me.
You can own it now.
You know, and the universe just makes it so I can just go anywhere, and people just like, here's the keys to my house. I'm not gonna be around here. Here's this room here. I'd be like, whoa, really? You know, hotels, here's your room. Whenever you want to come stay at this hotel, no charge. You know, that's the power of life for us. So now we got what happened, right? We actually know the name was your mother. We got what you learned. Did we get what you learned? Do you get?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if there was something to acknowledge or someone to acknowledge, who and what would that be?
Hear you, because it kind of broke up.
If you had to acknowledge someone or something, who or what would that be?
Okay, this is going to sound very weird, but I am going to actually acknowledge my brother.
Okay.
And the reason why I would acknowledge him is because if he had to cut that orange, I wouldn't have had that experience.
Woo! Huge. That's huge. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
That is real.
That is so powerful. We can acknowledge people for getting out of the way so I can get to my divinity. Let me do it. Let me get to work.
Let me hear you, and let me hear you. Let me make sure you heard what each said. Acknowledging people for getting out of my way, so I can get into my initiation and get to my divinity. Lisa, what do you need to do in your life for people?
What do I need in my life?
No, what do you need to do? Because you just acknowledged your brother for getting out of the way.
Honestly, I believe that I need to truly become one with myself.
I think you need to also get out of the way of the people in your life so they can get their lessons.
Yeah,
You better come on and turn it around. Turn your love around. Okay.
Yeah.
Say what, Lisa? Do you see that?
I do see that, because I stop a lot of people from getting what they supposed to have.
Girl, you better say that.
Yeah.
Ludacris wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? I'm not gonna play it. Move, get out the way, get out the way. Just get out
this
the
was
way.
really, I needed this because I'm battling something right now, and I just like.
You can share it. You in the safe space. We ain't gonna tell nobody. Everything anybody tell us stays with us. No judgment.
So I'm going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And child support, it's supposed to be $1,500, and I'm like, I gotta make sure he okay. I'm not gonna worry about that. So I reduced it to $1,000, and I'm like, is he gonna feel the pain of what he's done to me? Is he gonna feel that? Is he gonna know what it feels like. Am I blocking him? And this right here has let me, because I've been battling that for like a month.
And so you want to punish him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to punish him,
want
but
to.
I want him to be a support, and because I didn't ask for the divorce, he did. Because he had an affair with my sister-in-law.
You want to do some work with that, Lisa? Who are you mad at in that situation?
Both.
Both of them? Have you talked to your sister-in-law about it?
She won't say anything to me. She blames me. It's weird.
Well, let's talk about it. Do you know what your husband's birthday? What's his birthday?
April 13th.
Okay.
I'm working. Go ahead.
All right. So Lisa, if you look at so it's your let's work with your husband. So you look at your husband. What happened was he had an affair, and when he had that affair, did you work through the relationship or did you punish him?
I felt like I worked through it because we talked. There was no punishment behind it. I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't evil. I still did everything that I thought I was supposed to do as a wife to try to make the relationship work. I even came up with date nights. I even came up with trips where we can go and just spend time together. And it just seemed like nothing worked.
Well, maybe, and I don't know you well enough, but maybe if you're telling me that at 3 you made up a conversation about pain and to avoid it, that would mean that there's something in you that is not alive. Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes the only way we can know that we're alive is to have our hearts broken. It's a level of initiation. But if inside of life we keep trying to punish our hurt and our pain instead of actually embracing it, again, we can't access joy. And if you can't access joy, love is nowhere around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what we do. If love isn't there, it's just not there. Can you hear this? Can you hear this objectively? Because being able to transcend everything in our life, we have to be able to do it without judging ourselves. Because this is not a conversation of I wasn't good enough or I messed up. Nope. This is a conversation about, wow, new information. Now I can choose to do differently. And you can give yourself some room. And literally, and I can tell you, I don't know if he wasn't my third husband, but he's almost a third, but he's my second husband. He's the second man I married. He slept with a woman in my brand new Avalon. I'm traveling and he called me one day and he said, "Oh, I got something to tell you." He said, I cheated on you. I said, "You cheat on me? What you mean?" He said, "I slept with a woman. I slept with somebody." What? I said, "Well, did y'all go to a hotel?" "No." I said, "Well, where y'all sleep at?" "In your car." "In my car? What?" You know? And I said, "What in the hell would make you?" And I hung up the phone. I remember being like, "In my car, this motherfucker." 6 weeks later, right, 6 weeks later, somebody runs into the back of the damn car, tears the car up. I'm like this, and we still trying to work it out. And then something hit me. And it was like, and I remember somebody told me, said, "You know, you should have got rid of that car when you were trying to get rid of him." You know, I was like, oh, I didn't think about that, because energy, right? I wasn't into the energy quite like I am. But then I told him, I went back to him and I said, What's missing in your life that would make a difference for you? And he said he wanted to go back to school and da-da-da. I said, okay, well, take this year to go back to school, find a job, and I'm going to buy another house. I said, but I will take care of everything for a year. After that, you got to go. Because in that time, I realized that I was more upset about the car than I was about him sleeping with a woman. And then I had to go way back and actually acknowledge to myself that the only reason I married this man is because somebody challenged me not to. And I was going to win. And I was going, you can't tell me what to do. Had I been as aware as I am now, as soon as that information showed up when they said don't marry him, I should have been pulled back and looked at it. But I didn't. I'm going to prove to them that I can do what I want to do. And I had to go to him and acknowledge that. We're now the best of friends. We have a son together who'll be 22 this week. And, we get along really well. His girlfriend, whenever something happens, she calls me. We're Facebook friends. Get along beautifully. And one day we were in court for my son, and his girlfriend says to me, me and James, we've been together 7 years, and I never cheated on him. I say, this motherfucker done told her that I cheated on him. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a potty mouth. And I'm like, and I didn't try to defend myself or anything. I'm like, well, if that's the story he needs to tell, that's the story he needs to tell. Mm-hmm. But I took that as an opportunity to get my own freedom in my heart. I took that as that opportunity. And then I didn't realize till even years later that I had never grieved my first husband's murder. For 25 years, I was 50 years old when I finally realized and cried and couldn't stop crying for a whole day because I never allowed myself to grieve his death. I had to go through all of that to let that man go. What do you hear in that?
It's a lot, but I know for me, I hear that I have to go through certain things in order to be able to let things go. And I do. And I'm okay with letting this go. I think I did this because of tradition, because you, as a kid, being taught that you don't have sex unless you get married.
Come on, girl. That's the only reason I got married the first time. So I can have an orgasm.
And then divorce is not something that you do,
right?
Regardless of what the situation is.
Right. And that's bull crap too.
So I think I learned that I live my life based on the traditions and the beliefs of what my parents instilled in me. Sure. That's why I forgot what lesson it was. One of the lessons I talked about how I'm at a place now where I challenge the thought process of my parents when it comes to the traditions, because I have 3 kids of my own and they're around my parents. So I have to challenge that because I don't want my kids to believe that that's spirituality when it's not.
Wow. It's not. It's not. Most people who are in the church are not connected to their spirit. It took me so many years to get that. And to get it without wanting to punish them. You see, I wanted to go and blow up all the churches. I had to stop that. Like, don't blow up the churches. You still need the church, right? But I was like, I was Malcolm X growing up, mother. Don't y'all get it wrong. I was that king of club all day. Fist in the air. That's how I was rolling on 53rd and Prairie, right?
We already know, gangster.
You already know, right? So you can imagine, Lisa, that this awakening process for you is about challenging those traditions and again remembering who you are and what you came here to do. You know, and we've all been suppressed to a certain point, living our parents' life. You know, the biggest freedom I have is I didn't have a mother and father. I can't tell you how every day I'm so grateful. I mean, I went, sometimes I'll be like, Dad, I wish I had a daddy. Then I'll be like, okay, I'm good. You know, because there's something about freedom that we don't have access to when we're living through our parents. Can you hear that?
I get it.
There's something about freedom that we don't get when we're living through our parents. Did you hear that? Yeah. So
One
now
of the biggest hallmarks of the relationship that you share with your husband is that in this connection, you have an opportunity to heal your past. You all's connection together, and you'll learn about this later, is an 8 of hearts. It's the power of love. And so
what's his card? What's his card?
He's an ace, he's an 8 of diamonds.
Wow.
So he is really being deeply beneath himself because he's the sun card. This card brings blessings wherever it goes. And when I say beneath himself, it's not, I'll say it this way. He's learning how to be part of what you're emanating for him. Because an 8 is a lesser version of a king. The 8 is the first energy that could be a king, but the king embodies all of the energy of that particular suit. So with you standing in his space, being a king in his space, he has to get himself together. And a lot of times when we come up against what is meant to take us to the next level, we act out. I will show my whole backside because I'm not going.
Yep.
And so then instead of now being called to task, because we're spiritual partners to each other, what we do is we get in the ring and we spar with each other. Okay, that's what you've done. So now let's take it to the next level so we can learn our lessons. What ends up happening is what happens when you get in somebody's face and you scared. Spit on them. They're going to be so messed up reacting to you spitting on them that you get a chance to beat them up. So a lot of times when someone acts out, we're so busy reacting to them that we don't just hold them to the task of our soul's growth. That's why we're in each other's space, to bring out each other's divinity. So a lot of times I get so caught up in what the other person is doing, I'm not going to call them into the space of let's do this work together, because we're meant to transcend whatever actions we take so that we can be who we're here to be in our spirit. And so obviously you all came together for one reason, specifically to grow each other's souls. And then you brought 3 more souls into the world. Is that correct? 3 children that you brought into this world?
Yes.
Is that correct, Lisa? Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay. And so then what we get to do inside of this work that we're doing is that now you can look at who is he to you, who are you to him? Who are these 3 beings that you all agreed to bring into this world? What does that constellation look like? And it's so interesting because I'm going to say this because you are a master. So I'm going to share this in your space with you. When we start to look at what this constellation is, we can become so present to how insignificant certain parts of what we're focusing on are. There's so much significance in who we are in our constellation that we can remove ourselves from the smaller parts of the conversation once we heal it. So it's not like we just act like it's not there and it's not anything, but we get to see there's so much of a large mission that we agreed to together. We can go into that with our curiosity and see, what was I calling into space with this person? I created that I'm going to be able to have someone to walk through life with me with these 3 beings that we created somehow, and then get to challenge tradition in a way that I never knew I would. At 3 years old, you said sexuality, femininity, and kingship are mine. And I cut my own hand off. I don't care, because I'm here to do this. I'm here to do it.
With the middle finger.
It'll go down before I'll go down. You put the finger up. I'll cut it off. Now what? Gangsterism in the house. I know it when I see it.
Lisa, it's really, Lisa, each and I act kind of foolish sometimes. Please forgive us.
We like it. Fun.
What sounds like it's missing, and again, just take this for what it is that you need to really look and see where you have not forgiven yourself. Like really looking, and sometimes you say, oh, I forgave myself, but it's like there may be some place where it's like, I should have loved him more. I should have did this. I should have that. If I would have did this, he wouldn't have. Take that off the table. Because again, when we get to the end of a path, that path is going to end. I don't care what you put in it. There's something else for you to do that would have not been supported with that partner. At this juncture, you're still going to be in each other's life forever. It's just not going anyplace. However, now there's something else. And like we were telling Lisa A., if we're grieving something, the downloads can't come in because we're in regret, we're in loss, we're in hurt. So you want to go into that. You want to, transcending pain is not about avoiding it. It's about letting me feel all of this. Every bit. I don't know if you know the story, but I fell on the sidewalk last year and knocked my teeth out. And I went running to the dentist and running to this place, that place, trying to raise $20,000. And my spirit said, please stop. Please just stop. Don't do that. Don't try to fix it. I'm like, I'm not walking around here with no teeth in my mouth. What the, and my spirit said, the last year, I have been able to look back and see and heal my family. Just really releasing the conversations that I had about them neglecting me and abandoning me and hurting me and not taking. I've had to release, didn't have to, but I got to see that was there to release. And I had even created that adults were stupid. I mean, who would let this child go through all this pain? And so adults couldn't tell me nothing, but that was the queen and king in me. So that I would not be inundated for them. But now it's outdated. I don't need to keep believing that. That's not true. I can listen to everybody's belief without making it my own. I can hear what everybody has to say without taking it in. But I had to experience that. Now, pretty soon I'm going to get my grill together, put some gold stuff in there with a star and a diamond in the middle.
Look it up, baby.
I'm down in Tennessee. Tennessee.
Look it up, baby. That'll be fly. I like that.
Right? So give yourself time to really, forgive yourself. Do some work with that. And take care of yourself. I'm going to ask you to really take on you and letting everybody else fall. Let them fall so they can find their own power. Now that's going to be hard. If you're a king.
I've made that easy.
Go ahead.
It's because, you know what? I just took a job in Texas. I'm away from all my family.
Girl, go ahead.
It's
Amen.
funny to say that. Because I am actually moving to Texas within 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I won't be as easily accessible as I was before.
How about that? Were you saying something, Key?
No, I wasn't saying anything, but I was thinking because I know Lisa, like she's one of my dearest friends, and I know I'm finna cry because I'm just thinking like she's always just a very powerful person, a very generous person, and like I would think like, oh my God, she like really takes care of everybody, even when she's not there. So I want to encourage you to really take care of yourself, because I know literally even when you wouldn't even be around, your house would be like open and all your family would be there having a great time. And there's nothing with something wrong with that, but I'm just saying I know even when you're not there, they pull on your energy. So even though you're going to be miles away and starting a new life, your power, you are so powerful that people still have a way of pulling on your energy even when you're not there. So please be protective of yourself and take care of yourself.
I will.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And with the whole thing about acknowledgement, you have an opportunity to write to your brother, to write a letter to your brother, and just even share whatever part of yourself that needs to be shared. What would make a difference for him? What would give him access to you in a new way? But we say write the letters. You don't have to give them to people, but sometimes it's fun to, because it gives them a new insight into their own work, of their own, it gives them another mirror that they know that you're watching them through. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And so I wanted you to see inside of this conversation how the listening goes. So the listening is for what's not being said, and then you get to pull in all of those different tools that may make a difference for your client. And so it's in the unsaid that you really are doing the coaching. Right? You're listening for, so that attention is what's really is your biggest access to that, being present to them. And then the other thing is that sometimes people are so attached to their stories that they're not listening for the lesson. So you really have to have them see the lesson. That's why we go through all 4 of those. And then the other thing was, do you see that little small cut, right? Or that incident that you said, oh, it wasn't nothing. I just cut my finger at 3. Well, there's something about 3s and 6s and 9s, right? So 3 is definitely an initiation, and you gave it to yourself, and most kings do. Most royalty, most kings and queens and jacks, they usually initiate themselves. And so you get to now go back and release all those people that you've been blaming for some circumstance that showed up in your life, because it's just not true. You're a king. Whatever lessons they came to give you was part of the video. They showed up. Now, have we got to the lesson where we talked about the soul's path, your soul's path?
That's the thing that I was wondering. I don't know if that's been a resource on.
Yeah, it's a resource in there. I got to see what it might not be.
I think it was with the assessments, because that's the numerology, right? The numbers.
No, Robert Schwartz. I think it's later. We'll go look. But okay. One of the resources is your soul's path. And
your soul's plan.
Oh, plan. Okay.
Your soul's plan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we haven't got to that yet.
Right. And it literally has you get to know that you created what your plan was going to be, and you made agreements with all these people that you call hurting you. You made agreements with them. If I haven't did this, then do that. If I haven't did this, then you need to die so I can get this done. And but no, I don't want you to die. I want you to be around me all the time. I know. I see you when you get back over here, but for this lifetime, I'm going to die. And you'd be like, wow. I mean, he wrote you. I can't even tell you how beautiful the book is, but I read it from time to time just because of the storylines. And it's not fiction. He literally sat with mediums and sorcerers and all that, and had them go back and work with people, and he wrote the book.
It's very powerful, and it gets us present to something that you shared, Shemsu, that death is a transmutation, it's a translation, it's a transmission, it's a movement from one phase of being to another phase of being. No different than when we boil water to make coffee. Mm-hmm. Water becomes that steam. It's from one phase to another phase. It mm-hmm. becomes ice when we put it in the freezer. Yeah. One phase to another phase. And the reason why that's important is so that we can remove the stories that go along, that we'll be able to flow a little bit easier inside of doing the work with ourselves first, and then ultimately with our clients.
Very cool. And you know, and I just want you guys to know that one of the greatest forms of success is joy. It's not accomplishment, it's not wealth. All of those things, you can have all those things, but really every day to access your joy is what's going to make you be fulfilled in your life. So this is why we do this work, so we can uncloak ourselves, so that we can just take things off and get to the part of ourselves that little girl. My little girl is 5. How old is your little girl, Icha?
She's 4.
Your little girl 4. Kiana, what's your girl's age?
About 4 or 5.
Okay. Now, Lisa, can you all see your girl's age?
Mine is 3.
Yes, it is, Lisa. Yours is 3. Exactly. What about you, Lisa A?
5.
Yeah. Because at that age, we made up something about life, and we stopped shining, we stopped living, we stopped being. And now we get to go back and act a fool.
Act a complete fool. My little girl this is her year. This is the year of my little girl. I am a 4 of hearts this year.
Yeah. Thank you. So I want to thank you guys, you too, Kiana and Icha, for making time for this. This is what the work looks like. We usually do master teacher right about session 3 or 4. And the reason we wait that long is because you want to make sure that your client knows how to breathe to center. You want to make sure that you can mirror greatness and they can get it, right? Because you're going to take them through. You see what it takes to actually have people be with it. Instead of having them go inside, you have them come out with it. And then you help them transmute it. So usually 3 or 4, they have enough groundedness with you to actually do the process. Now for ourselves, we get to use master teacher all the time. All the time. Lisa Wallace, you really get to go back. And again, you're going to get session 12, and you'll be able to go back. You'll be able to see what you need to acknowledge your husband for. You'll acknowledge his with sister-in-law. You'll be, girl, they won't know what. Listen, Lisa, you start acknowledging them, they're gonna be like, what the huh? Nobody will ever in life be able to hurt you again.
You better teach now. You better teach.
Ever.
Death itself
won't be able to hurt you. It won't. Because it's not, we really get to feel pain without making it a punishment.
Come on now.
You know, it's like, wow. I was telling each, I say, my children not talking to me this week. I don't know what's going on with them. They must be working through their stuff and blaming me for something, but they'll come around. It used to be like, oh my God, what did I do wrong now?
If I had just did it right, then they would talk to me.
Ain't no doing it right, baby.
Ain't no doing Right, baby. Life is life and love is love. Let it all blow. Shit.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's to you.
What's in your cup, love?
Girl, I'm rocking this aloe vera. Like, what? Got me over here looking like I'm 2 years old.
Woo, child. Yes.
You see, look.
Look at that. I'm at soon as I get moved into my house, I'm gonna get all my little stack up. You know, I'm so excited.
Me too.
All right, ladies, anything for you? What's present for you? What's there for you? How do you want to leave this conversation?
Well, you know, for me, this was a whole circle. I mean, I've been there with the husband, and now I'm divorced. I've been there being the rescuer of the entire family. And I've released. I did. But now I'm going to do the work about my grandfather. I'm not going to avoid that pain any longer. I'm not going to ignore it and put it on the back shelf anymore. I'm going to acknowledge him and allow the downloads to come because I would love to be in his presence again.
Yeah.
Oh wow. This is, you know, I was thinking we were just going to talk about stuff. I had no idea. But I am thankful, truly thankful. This season, I feel like I've gone into myself and opened and turned on the light in every space, closed off, the door closed, the light's been turned off because I didn't want to deal with that pain anymore. But just being here and exposing my being to all the different lessons, I'm so thankful because I feel alive again. I have allowed myself to breathe, truly inhale and exhale and enjoy it. I'm not just here in a mummified way. I'm not just here doing life as I was taught to do it. And I'm enjoying every moment. I'm enjoying every lesson. I think sometimes it challenges me not to tell you all so much in writing because I could really. But this has been so awakening for me, so taking back for me. And I'm truly thankful. I mean, the words thank you is not enough because I've walked out of a shell. I've walked out of a cage. I've walked out of a hurricane of me. And I'm accepting and allowing every lesson to be present that I have to endure at that moment and not be afraid to go through it. This is just, this is amazing to me, beyond amazing. I am in love with me right now.
By yourself.
I really
Bravo.
am. It
Thank
has,
you, Lord.
my goodness. I feel like I have been open to life. I mean, not just LIFE, but the universe of life.
Yeah,
So thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.
So for me, first I have to say this, that I am so grateful, as Lisa said, I am really grateful because I was going to start the certificate program a year ago, and I'm glad I decided. I don't know what happened, but it came when it was supposed to come for me. And this season, I have to say my mentor has pushed me to stay because I wanted to quit. I wanted to walk away. I was like, I could do this another time. I got so much going on. But I am truly grateful that he stayed present. always when I need to just talk or vent. And I mean, he don't even let me vent. We process and we keep going. And I am grateful, but I am grateful for you ladies being present for me in this moment, being able to open, like we said, open up to a new way of looking at my traumas, looking at the pain that I've experienced in my life, and realizing that this is a confirmation for me. It's confirmation. I always felt that I was a powerful person, but I never knew how it actually worked or what it looked like. And I'm just so grateful for that. And like I said, I just have to acknowledge the three of you for just being present with me, and my buddy Lisa. We buddies for real. We got the same name.
Who does that? Y'all messing with me? Lisa, ain't that a song?
Girl, I'm gonna make a playlist of Lisa songs because you know I'm the queen of the playlist.
Okay.
It's got to be some divination in the songs. You know I'm a fan of it. I'll share it with you later.
Well, y'all, when I get to Chicago in July, y'all gonna have to, because Lisa W, when do you leave?
I leave in June, at the end of June, but I'll be back because my parents are here. So whenever you come, I love to travel, so I'm a traveling bee.
Oh, okay. Well, I plan on being in Chicago probably most of the month of July. So we're gonna set up some events. One event we have set up, we're working with is July 14th. So that weekend, if you could slate that in somewhere. July 14th. Yeah.
I want to say something to you all. I want to take a moment, just indulge me a moment. Thank you. It ain't even no other words. It's so much of love that I'm experiencing as a result of being able to be present to the love and to the genius that you are. I see you more clearly than I've ever seen anyone before yet in this process. And it's because of the opening that you all have created that I'm able to be present to everyone in my life in a way that makes even more of a difference. And I'm so grateful for that. It feels marvelous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know this was a really sacred space today. I really am going to go and do some work with my grandfather. I just really, it's amazing. It's really amazing how we can segregate. We can allow pain to segregate us from the gifts. Yeah, this is really great.
I want to acknowledge you guys too. I think to get to this point in the process, this is what I was thinking about. We started with 4 students. Was it 4, right? 4 or 5? 4, right?
5.
5. So we have 5. Right.
No, it was 6, wasn't it? Because didn't somebody leave and then Monica went over to the other side?
Yeah.
Right. It was 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Flipped over.
So
no, it was actually 7. Okay, go ahead.
So we started off with a larger number, and now we're on week 12, and we're at the two kings, and actually it was a lot of kings in the course, but having a kingdom is a lot of responsibility, and it's a lot of work. And so a lot of times, when you learn about yourself, and you haven't done this type of work before, it could be challenging. It could be you could not want to deal with like what you ladies shared today and what you deal with and opened up to. That's powerful. You literally have shifted your worlds just today. So think about the whole 12 weeks of getting to this point. You have done some major shifting. Everybody does not get to this point in the course where they can even do this part of it. So I definitely want to, commend you ladies. You are doing excellent work. You're doing soul work, and you're going to make such a difference, not only in your lives, but what I've learned in your family lives, your community lives, like the world literally is, we're waiting on you. You have something for us. You have something for this universe. And so I just want to acknowledge you guys because y'all doing the work. So, And then, of course, I love my Isha Debbie so much. And she's the cutest little boy I've ever seen.
That's how I feel about myself right now. I'm the cutest.
I ordered it, but I have not drank it. So
what's that? Your aloe vera?
I'm gonna dive in. I'm about to dive in. And my Shemsu-t, I thank her so much all the time and acknowledge her for even creating this curriculum and then sharing it with us and being generous in that she shares it with us and even shares it and teaches us how to be leaders and to teach the course as well. Isha Debbie is a mentor for this course, but she also has, of course, she's facilitating too. We have 2 classes going on right now. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge you for doing the work. And that's one of the things, like when we do the work, we have a gift for the universe. And so Shemsu-t has changed people that she don't even know she's changed, because when we get the work done, like my son came in, he's like, oh, that's Shemsu-t. Like he knows I talk about it so much, you know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, breathe this into, eating his peace and calm in the flesh. So even when they not directly doing the work, because they put so much into us and they shared that gift for us, you literally are changing the world. So that's why it's so important. That's why I'm acknowledging you ladies for doing the work, because it's way bigger than just I'm taking a class, which we always think, oh, I'm taking a class, I'm gonna get certified as a life coach. It's so cute. I could charge some more money, and that's the good part of it. I could do some workshops, and yeah, that's all fine and dandy. But when it comes down to it, you are changing the universe. So I definitely want to acknowledge all of you guys. And Shemsu-t, thank you so much for creating and sharing this space for us.
You guys are welcome. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to let you get on with your days. Lisa and Lisa, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And don't forget about your debriefs, and we're going to send session 12 to you.
Yes, get your debriefs in, and you got to get 12 today.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all again.
I love you.
Each and Kiana, stay on. Each and Kiana, stay on, please.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Woo. Wow.
Turn us
Wow.
off the recording.
Wow. Oh.